quick.
So why would you do that? Bye, have a good day. Why would you do that?
Hey, what is your problem with me, man?
Hello and welcome to Lawd Lukan. It's time to batten down the hatches as we get blown over by a new season of Life After Lockup. The show where I booked myself some therapy at Amy's place, Project Heal. More on that later. Also on today's show, there's awe as Millz and Juju return to the show.
Things are tighter than an ant's butthole.
There's shock as Vanilla Tenny's kid has some sort of fearsome cotton mouth. There's horror as brave Daniel fingers Bianca.
What are you thinking about?
There's no surprise that Karen's buds didn't fall far from the plant.
I don't want you to get too high, okay?
I'm not gonna get too high, man.
And there's suspense as Amy has a secret to tell.
I have to tell you something.
All that and much, much more right here on the Lawd Lukan channel.
You okay, bro?
Good day, bonsoir and salute, and a very warm welcome to you. Big loves to those who've subscribed, you beautiful people, and a magnificent mangalitsa sausage to the members of the Lukan Manor. First up today, they chuck us in the direction of Coraline and Daniel, and we pick straight up after the last episode of Life After Lockup, where we're still in the car after Daniel was released, and Daniel is adjusting to life with Coraline.
My heart's racing, I feel.
Numb, down your left-hand side? Well, I think there must be some sort of illness going on, as Daniel decides to take Coraline's temperature. Tepid. But it's all about the old "how's your father" this episode, as Coraline is showing her mate her very grown-up scrapbook. Not at all like Cruella. And accidentally left her willy drawing in the Trapper Keeper. Not at all like Cruella.
Oh my god, that's his what? I didn't know I had that there.
Okay then, firstly, no way she forgot that was in there. Secondly, perhaps we need to wash our hands now after handling that little fiasco, after she's been flicking her pages of well-organised binder. Thirdly, maybe it was a bit chilly that day. And fourthly, apparently that's an actual word. Let's have a look at what she was hiding. Oh yes, that's the kind of groundbreaking journalism you'd expect from a Lawd Lukan channel, you know? Okay, so I have questions. Is it to scale? It's the same shape as a can of Coke. It is about half the size of one of those A4 plasticky wallety things, which would make it somewhere in the region of about 12 centimetres. That's a whopping 4.7 inches. Or what you might call medium for Malaysia. I like that phrase. You girlies can have that one, and use it when you're having a little tell-all with your mates. Hey Barbara, how's it going with that new guy of yours? Well, he's a bit medium for Malaysia. Oh, I'm so sorry. He comes up short in the state trouser lottery too. Over there in Arizona, the average is 5.9. Although we got to say, this is all self-reported. So, you know, we can imagine this really doesn't mean a lot then, doesn't it? But who is the top of the statewide sausage table? Well, it's Alabama. Lord, they'll be coming home to you.
Seems like he has a pretty big
Yep, we're looking at her. So, as they go off to have some vanilla, unfulfilling panky of the hankiest variety for about 2 minutes, we check back with them later in the video for, I don't know, something. How are you even supposed to hype that up?
Oh my god.
Anyway, off we go to see what Amy and Troy have been up to since the last season. Well, Amy seems to be rocking the Bo Derek look. And Troy's still trying to get rid of that thumbprint on his forehead. So, how's it been going for the last couple of months?
Over the last month, life has been, what would I say?
Probably something along the lines of... But it's a bliss of the wedded variety over in Troy and Amy land. Maybe we should call them Zeruiah or Troyeria. But the polish on Troyeria's turd starts to look a bit misty as they list the things they love about each other.
You don't let me
Right.
finish things first before you just like, oh, where's this, where's that?
Yeah, you with all your questions and stuff like, what the hell were you thinking? And what the hell am I supposed to do with that? I can totally see that, though. I imagine Troy takes an absolute age to do a half-assed job of something. Talks slow enough. But Amy's not having that. Troy's a nightmare too, you know.
You take time in the bathroom.
God, Troy and those increasingly high sideburns are dumbfounded. Also, he's been taken aback by what Amy said. But he shouldn't be picking holes in his good lady. She's done so much for him.
I
Hey,
did
it's not
all of
that-
this
it's
for
not
you,
that I don't
Troy.
feel like
Yeah, you know, there's top floor flat that she already lived in that they share with her sister. She did it all for him, you know. Yeah, cheers. But there is, of course, one other thing that she did give him.
She's the love of my life. She's my wife, my best friend.
And his boss, yes indeedy. As I said in a previous video, which you can check out to see what the hell I was going on about, with that little sort of boxy thing that appears up there, Troy is listed as the Director of Community Engagement on the company website. Project Healing, helping everyone accept love, which sounds a bit like helping everybody accept love. Yeah, because that love guy's been up to no good recently. But, of course, it means accept love. And what do they do? Well, I'm not too sure. I mean, it's not like I've gone and signed up for one of their free Zoom meetings, is it? Hang on a second. So, here we are on the lovely site. And oh look, a lovely shiny Book of Zoom button. That'll do nicely. First, let's choose our character. I'm going to be Jamal. I'm 20 from the UK. I moved to Onondaga Hill a couple of months ago, and I've got a bit of a problem that I need their help with. The other day, Jamal came home to find a man undressed. They ended up fighting, and the man has some serious injuries. The main problem? He used a dildo, and now he's worried that he'll be on some kind of register. There we go. One backstory, one character. Good job. Now, let's see what kind of advice we get. So, when should we book? Let's do it today. 6 p.m. Lovely. That's 1 p.m. New York time. And there we go. I have my own little therapy session booked. Right, let's skip a couple of hours and get to our meeting. But you now join us 5 minutes into the call. No one's here. But, okay, well, no worries, I'll wait a bit. Maybe they're finishing their blunt before they get here. So, while we wait, let's get back to the Joneses. And it's time to go to that office. It's really just one of those open offices with the hot desks, really, isn't it? And what better way to start a working day than to have a good, healthy breakfast?
I don't want you to get too high, okay?
I'm not gonna get too high, man.
Yeah, because every director of a company rocks up blazing a white boy.
I am
High as a motherfucker.
excited.
High.
I'm on my way to my first day at work. I finally get to meet my staff.
Yeah, he's having a lovely time. Maybe it's one of those spiritual attacks that Karen was having the other episode. Anyway,
Really nice. Really
I want
nice.
to formally introduce Troy.
they go to work, and the camera shows us the Syracuse building. But I do think that's a bit of a Keith Haring.
Don't know anything.
So come into your new office.
Yeah, okay, his office. Even if she's paying for this space, which is not at all like sensory deprivation, she'd be paying at least $12 per square feet per month for this little jail cell, which I'd estimate at about $300 a month for the room alone. But don't you worry, employment fans. Amy's got his job description at the ready.
As Director of Community Engagement, your job is to engage the community.
Glad you cleared that one up. I'd probably check Troy's definition though. Last time he engaged with the community, he ended up in prison, though he feels he has the transferable skills to direct the company.
Running the streets and running the office is definitely similar.
Running the streets, yeah, okay, if you say so. El Chapstick Penis.
You're looking at it from a street perspective. I just created my own gang.
The only time he ran the streets was when Amy was shouting at him. But okay, yep, similar, perhaps. As long as you don't pimp slap Janet from accounts for not bringing in the main bitch money.
I love that Troy is excited, but there's something I haven't told him about the business.
Ooh, find out what that might be, and how Jamal gets on. A little bit later in the video. Next, we're off to catch up with Vanilla, Tenny, and Rob. And Rob's been warming up the old brain cell for this next piece of genius.
It's not what I expected, but it is what I expected. So I expect the unexpected.
He expected to expect the unexpected, therefore unexpected is expected in his expectancy. These two are so boring.
Biggest highlight of the past 6 weeks would probably be
When I skip to another couple, and I'm so pleased to see them. Let's get ourselves a little drum roll. It's the couple that set off my little YouTube journey. One is a half-decent rapper, and the other one is Montana Millz. It's Juju and Millz. Oh, look at them. Millzy's got a bit bigger, isn't he? A bit more frosty. Says it's a warehouse manager. That rap career's growing well then. Actually, that comment I made earlier about Juju being the better rapper, well, I think it's true, as Millz seems to be relegated to doing the hook.
Got everybody moving on this gangsta shit. Moving on this gangsta shit.
Then Juju comes in like a ball of the wrecking variety.
You should get acquainted with this bitch. You think you hate me now, but you gon' hate it when I'm rich.
That's not bad, you know. Better than Millzy's line. Like this one.
Got a mess and how it's really me and Juju fucking hoe.
I love how he has to include Juju with everything now. He's not allowed to do any hoeing unless she's doing it too, you know?
Me and Juju fucking hoe.
Moderately pathetic. Have you noticed that Millz has a tell for his lying? For example, when he said, I performed at the Latin Grammys, and I only moved here 6 months ago.
It's been 6 months since moving from Pennsylvania to Las Vegas.
His eyes were off down here and his tone of voice was insincere.
Pennsylvania to Las Vegas.
I think it's just another one of these things that WeTV makes him say. Even if it means he has to tell some big whopping whoppers to make his character look a bit more exciting, he's got to do what they tell him. And if they tell him you're bloody French Montana, you're bloody French Montana. Bonjour. Anyway, old man Millz and Juju aren't just celebrating child number 8, but also the arrival of number 9.
Like we say, 8 was great, but 9 is fine.
No, yeah, 9's fine.
And I think Millz goes into some kind of coma when Juju suggests it might be another girl.
You a big sissy.
Millz, are you alright over there? You okay?
The next question is, do you want to know the gender?
But don't you worry, Willy fans. This baby's come equipped with one, and everybody's very happy about it.
I see a penis.
Somebody who isn't very happy is the doo-doo, or the woo-woo, or whatever you guys call these people, and she wants them to give up repopulating Las Vegas.
Whether it's taking out your tubes, vasectomy for you, I mean, either option's a good option. We just want to make sure that, this is your last pregnancy.
So Millz wants to opt for the uterus origami, whilst Juju would rather little Millz have the nip and snip.
Then the vasectomy shouldn't be too hard either.
Yeah, but I just don't want my situation not working the right way.
No, I'm not quite sure what he thinks the procedure consists of.
Yours is going to be fine. The tunnel's still there.
Yeah, it's not really the tunnel that's the problem, is it? It's the Hummer in the carpool lane that's causing all the problems. But after our 5th C-section, the sunroof isn't quite functioning like it used to. And there's a very real chance of some serious complications.
Listen, if Justine died, I don't know what I would do.
We'll be back with the Millz a little bit later on. But right now it's time for a commercial break. Would you kindly watch as much of the adverts as possible, as it supports my channel a whole bunch. So then, skip to support the channel and I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back, and huge thanks for staying tuned to the Lawd Lukan channel. And we're going back to see Coraline and Daniel. And Daniel's very pleased about how last night went.
The sex is everything that I hoped it would be.
Ah, young love, the age of blooming desire, and running hand in hand through the cornfields, whilst the sun sets upon the innocence of their former years. They gaze into each other's eyes with willful abandon.
He kind of just wanted to stick it in.
Yeah, back now to see some more normal for North Carolina, as we hook up with Kim and Joey. And Kim must have listened to my advice. She's got the north-south cleavage and the east-west going on. Good job, Kimberly, framing your assets in a triangle or diamond shape without adding width to the neck. That ombre is looking a little bit brassy though. Half-decent toning shampoo and conditioner wouldn't really go amiss, would it? Maybe chuck in a couple of layers just to frame the face a little more. And she doesn't have quite a low hairline, like a 3-head. So I think maybe some cute bangs might give her a bit of a smouldering look. Anyway, this whole bit is pretty uneventful. Joey thinks he's Kim's son's dad because he was one of a number of men plumbing her depths. Well, what do you think, Maury? Apart from the nose, the lips, the face shape, and nothing being quite like the boy. I guess the eyes are kind of similar-ish, they're a bit sort of squinty. But Joey thinks it's his hair because it's similar. That's called a haircut. Well, let's hope he didn't inherit Joey's brains. Back now to lovebirds, Coraline and Daniel. And Daniel is looking for a little validation from last night.
How did I do? Be honest.
You were good.
Which means...
The sex wasn't terrible, but it also wasn't like the best.
And I have the feeling she's not happy with the prison man she ordered. She says he's too skinny and crap in bed. And you can tell her patience is running out.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying, you better contribute. Yeah, I agree, totally.
Then he makes some breakfast, and I've got to say, it's one of the better attempts that we've seen on Lalu. Actually looks quite good, but just in case we forgot that these two have the combined maturity of a kitten with ADHD, they get into an argument about coffee.
So there.
No, you get it.
I've got to say, man, I'm ashamed to say it, but I'm with Coraline on this one. Yeah, she could have been slightly less of a bitch about it, and could have sounded way less entitled, but if you're doing breakfast, then surely you pour the coffee.
You're making me breakfast. You literally cannot even pour the coffee for me and put milk in it.
He's given her sex without foreplay and breakfast without coffee. That's not good boyfriending in anybody's book, surely. Suggested this to one lady girl that I know. She said, "What a bastard, leave him." But then Coraline loses all the moral high ground when she reminds him of how much she spent on him. And therefore, you should make the bloody coffee.
So why would you use that to make me feel bad? To do something for you as a manipulation? That's not right.
Will they manage to get over Coffeegate?
Look at me.
I don't think so. I don't need to.
Look at me.
Well, who cares? Back to Amy and Troy, and Amy's broken the news that the whole non-profit business is returning non-profit. That she hasn't paid the rent in 2 months.
So, we won't be able to be at the office until I get that straightened out.
And Troy is so annoyed, he's gone and made up another word. Last time we had temperamatic, and this time...
Hypothetically speaking right now.
Whatically speaking?
Hypothetically speaking right now.
Ah, I see. Well, it's pretty close to hypothetically. I guess I'm gonna allow it.
All right, well, let's twiddle our thumbs and let's play in the bed and let's just not do about it. How about that?
Well, go Troy. Seems to have cultivated a pair of balls since the last season. But it's fairly short-lived as he goes for the default Troy move of going for a walk.
Going to the streets in all black and a pink do-rag is not the answer.
Okay, you learned people may have to help me out here. Is there something specific about the pink do-rag? I can imagine if you heard the pink do-rag gang were about to be doing a bit of gang-banging in your hood, you'd be less worried about a drive-by than you would be about your brown eye.
I'm on the street, I'm gonna be like, who's this guy? He looks like he's gonna rob somebody.
For their anal virginity? Before we leave these two, it's time for a commercial break. So then, skip to support the channel and I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back, and huge thanks for staying tuned to the Lawd Lukan channel. Let's just get back to that meeting with Project Healing. Yep, I waited half an hour and absolutely nothing happened. What an absolute disappointment. So, my assumption, that Project Fail was a delightfully valiant idea, but a completely misguided one. And now it's nothing but a website with empty promises. Speaking of empty things, Joey's back, and he's gonna do a DNA on Kim's eldest child.
I think this is honestly one of my life's biggest secrets.
One of them? You mean there's more? Well, that'll be normal for North Carolina, I guess. One final trip to today, and we're with Vanilla, Tenny, and Rob.
Well, I'm gonna get a drink and let the mamas meet.
Bloody hellfire! Look at the size of those retail outlets. And just when I thought it couldn't get more vanilla, Rob's mum decides that the place would be much more interesting if they f***ed it up a bit.
Why would you do that?
Hey, what is your problem with me, man?
Come the fisticuffs.
Oh, will you fucking fight back?
And that concludes the show for this week. But don't you worry, the crazy doesn't end there. Join us next time where Millz has a tantrum. Oh dear, that's not your house, you know. Flashback Rachel gets a dose of reality.
I don't like you.
Amy's annoyed, Tenny's in turmoil, and Crim's are crying. But before we go, there's the final business of the wholesome clip.
Ma?
Yeah, puppy?
Do we have a cat?
No, why would you say we have a cat?
Because Dad last night was saying, oh, I'm going to beat that kitty, baby. Why would Dad even want to hurt a cat?
What are you listening to? What happened? Nobody was in.
You need to be in bed, all right?
Go.
And that, my dear plum duff, is all I have time for today. Thank you so much for watching. You make an old ill man very happy. Perhaps you'd like to share this video or give it a little like, or maybe try one of these little beauties. So until we meet again, stay beautiful, love to my 3, and you take care of yourself.
Please subscribe now for our play. Thank you.